Brock Purdy. Mike Martz doesn't seem like he's at all concerned with Brock Purdy. He said he's a Brock Purdy fan, Goo.
No doubt. And not only that, that ain't his uncle. He said some things that we had talked about. And, I remember with Tony Romo vividly when people would try to break down an interception because they were in denial and it had to be somebody else's fault. But Steiny, a lot of that stuff, and he pointed out, Jennings, a lot of those routes or interceptions were – he felt like we're on the receiver, but that's just a dangerous game if you're going to, as a quarterback, to throw to a spot, Steiny, because a guy could slip and all kind of stuff. You could get jammed, what have you, but you better have some trust. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's a turnover. And that's what's been happening with the Niners and Brock, like the one at the third quarter against Cincinnati. They're going into tie, and, that one got away from them, a one-handed interception, but those are the ones where you run out of time to fix it. That's why the third and fourth quarter, money time, and that's just the one pattern that I've seen through these three games. Even the Browns, Steiny, is they've coming in the fourth.
Let's go to Jose is in Los Gatos. What's up, Jose? How you doing, man?
Hey, I appreciate you guys taking my call. How are you guys doing?
Jose.
Doing well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Just wanted to talk about a little bit about how you're saying, Steiny, how Jimmy, we're talking about that throw and how after that we didn't even see much faith in that. To be honest with you, as fans, after that throw, we were thinking, of course, maybe not Shanahan and Lynch, but as fans, we're thinking, hey, maybe we got something here. Maybe we can grow around this guy. Maybe we can build around him for the future or go from there. And, of course, they were thinking, hey, we're going to draft Trey Lance, and we know how everything worked out. But, I mean, I don't think anybody, at least in the fan base, was thinking, oh, we got to move on from Jimmy now.
Really?
If anything, a lot of us were thinking, yeah, of course.
All right.
If anything, a lot of people were on the edge about Lance, taking that early third round or third pick on him. And a lot of us think we could have taken Micah Parsons. That's, of course, a different story for another day. But,
all right.
I don't think a lot of people were giving up on Jimmy at that time.
Huh. How do you guys remember it?
That they won. And I gave him an A- for his tenure here as a Niner quarterback. But Steiny, he would be the Jimmy no throws. It was a roller coaster. And there were some good days, and there was a lot of winning. But anybody could see, oh, boy, he might give you one.
I guess, how's that different from Purdy?
Because he's a puppy.
But he's given him hasn't he just done the same thing as Jimmy the last 3 games?
How about this then? Why do I like this? How many times Purdy broken your heart so far, Steiny? Niner fans. I don't think, not one time. Like these 3 games, they don't even register. Because they're regular season games. Like Jimmy's broken hearts, on the biggest of stages. Hey, you know what? Hey, you could check, hey, maybe some Niner fans are like, you know what? He's broken my heart twice with the interception against Minnesota and Cincinnati. But he's so young, we don't really know if he's the guy from the 15 games or the guy that we've seen from 3. So I don't think nobody's ready to get off of him. Purdy's at like 510, 650. Oh, I need glasses. Purdy has played 1 full season, exclamation point, 4 of them. Jimmy was we knew, you kind of felt like we knew.
How? He hadn't played in New England.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Dallas game I give you. It was horrible.
But all I'm saying is that Jimmy Garoppolo, after a couple years, the judgment was made on him by some, including, I guess, Shanahan and Lynch. Okay. So
you don't give me nothing or anybody that would say to that, Steiny, in that 2 years, there were a lot of no throws to where people were like, this is a staple or just a trait of who he is. And on top of that, Steiny getting hurt too.
What, these no throws, I don't understand why this, Garoppolo, what's his interception, what's his touchdown pass to interception ratio? But it's not the worst in the league.
No, it's not.
So, I just never, these no throws, they're what are called interceptions, and every quarterbacks got him.
I don't know how much you can remember from and I ain't saying do play-by-play, but Steiny, the Rams NFC Championship game, I don't blame Jimmy for that loss, but he had some bad throws and missed some receivers. So I'll leave that there. The drive to win the Super Bowl, when you want to kind of, even if you're having a bad game and you get that drive or you're in that position to get it done, they didn't get it done and he missed the throw. But to me, it's a feel, man. And I feel like Jimmy had 9 lives and Kyle was tired of it, and plus him getting hurt.
I just am looking at like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of other quarterbacks that have more of an interception issue than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's all I'm saying.
All right, with that, I'll ask you this. Why do you think Kyle got tired? I think I've heard your answer before, but remind us. Why do you think Kyle went to do what he did with Trey Lance to move off of the Jimmy experience?
Because he thought Trey Lance could be like a better Lamar Jackson. And he thought he was the coach who could turn him into a better Lamar Jackson. And he thought that Trey Lance could throw the football, and he couldn't. And he thought that he could be a pocket passer and then extend plays with his feet, and he didn't. The bottom line is when they moved up to get Trey Lance, those kind of quarterbacks were coveted. The Josh Allens who could make a play, and he whiffed.
And look at Allen now, Steiny. Like, he could go on to win the Super Bowl this year, but I know I've lost a lot of confidence in him.
Let's go to Love. No? We'll get back to you in a second. 6'5". Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, let's go to Miles. My bad. Miles in Berkeley. Sorry about that, Evan. Miles, what's going on?
How you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
I would agree with what you're saying. You know, I think every football team has a window with their quarterbacks. If Purdy don't do well this year and he don't win it this year, next year, he's gone. That's what they do. Same with the Warriors did. They didn't win last year. What do? They bring in some veterans. You know, they're constantly adjusting to what they need to do. And Purdy's like, you know, he's a good quarterback. He's good, but he's yet to be proven what he's going to end up doing. So if he don't win the Super Bowl this year and they probably give him another shot next year, they're going to move away from him like everybody else does. But the name of the game is winning the Super Bowl. That's it. The guys have spent a lot of money, right? So they're going to build up their defense some more this year. And if they don't win it this year, that's what they're going to move away quickly from whatever's not working. Good teams always do that.
Well, I'll say this. Let me just say this before you hang up. The way that you cite that story, don't forget they made their bed. They have to lie in it. It really wasn't supposed to be Brock Purdy's turn. It was supposed to be Trey Lance's. So they got some, I don't want to say blood on their hands, but they take some blame too.
They move away from it though. That's the name. It's a business.
All right, I'll give you that.
It's a business.
All right.
It's not no what your opinion is fine, but when it comes down to it, it's business.
Yeah, and you're right. They got rid of them. They got up off of them.
Appreciate the call.
Get up off of them.
650. This is kind of what I'm talking about, the Comcast business text line. If Purdy can't get us to the NFC Championship this year, why would we not look back at the Jimmy Garoppolo years and wonder what happened this past year?
Had they not went to the NFC Championship game last year under Brock Purdy, I could understand how somebody would type that. But do you just forget that he did it last year on try number 1? Half a one, Steiny. So that's why I'm like.
I mean, look, if you wanted to, who got to quarterback a better team, Jimmy Garoppolo or Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
Okay, so if Jimmy Garoppolo went to an NFC title game and a Super Bowl with a 49er team that wasn't as good as this one, but this team doesn't get it done in either of the last 2 years, yeah, I do think it's fair then to say, well, you know, that's why it's unfair to dismiss Jimmy Garoppolo started his 49er career 17-3 as a quarterback. And do I think Purdy's looked better as a quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo? Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But the numbers, I'm talking about wins and how far the team's gone. We don't know yet what Brock Purdy can do or not do in terms of how far he's going to go.
Right, but I'm not defending Brock, but on his first stab at it, he got him to where Jimmy got him to twice and didn't win the NFC Championship game.
They had a better team. Christian McCaffrey. They're asking Brock to do, maybe they asked Brock to do less than Jimmy Garoppolo last year because he had more weapons.
Jimmy in Vegas, does that make you think more of Kyle?
No.
Oh, to me, I do. Okay. Well, like when you see Jimmy in another system, you kind of see his warts on display more. Don't you just look at like, oh my gosh, Kyle got that guy to a Super Bowl and 2 NFC Championship games.
Not really.
Well, for me, I was like, boy, put one on the board for Kyle.
Garoppolo, didn't he quarterback like 3 games in New England? And he looked good?
One Thursday night, I believe. I don't remember.
Anthony's in Benicia. What's up, Anthony? How you doing, man?
It's a good afternoon, fellas. So let me jump right into it. I have a bone to pick and/or a rat. Like for the longest, Guru and other callers have always said that Jimmy got us to the NFC Championship and Jimmy got us to the Super Bowl. But now we're seeing that it wasn't Jimmy. It was the system that was put around Jimmy. The same could be said about Brock Purdy. And everyone knows that as long as Kyle Shanahan's offense is clicking on all cylinders, the quarterback is asked to do just enough not to mess up. And that is the truth when it comes to Brock and Jimmy. And what you guys are just talking about is true when you think about Kyle Shanahan's system. Brock Purdy was exposed when he was out of this system. Jimmy G has been exposed since he's been out of his system, right? Like, I think that's pretty much like everybody can say that. So we can't say that it is Brock or Jimmy. We can say that Kyle Shanahan's system is built to, as long as these skilled players are doing their job and they're cutting to the windows, and Jimmy G or Brock is throwing these guys in those windows, it should be fine. The question should be, if those things aren't happening, is Brock as good as he needs to be to win the big one? Because the thing about our quarterbacks over here is you have to fit this system instead of like a Lamar Jackson, where they built the system around him and allowed him to use his attributes to be the best that he can be. I think that's the most important thing that us fans have to worry about, is that, like, if Brock Purdy doesn't have, like, a Debo, he hasn't looked as good as he can look. And I would say that Jimmy G and Brock look the same Brock looked better than Jimmy up into these last 3 games in the fourth quarter. You can't tell me that they haven't had similarities, because Jimmy looked good at times, and then he would look bad at times. Brock has looked amazing at times, and in these last 3 games, he hasn't looked that great come the fourth quarter. And so there are some similarities there, but the kicker here is it's all about the system. The system here is what gets the games won, and it's the skill players. And Brock happens to just be a little better than Jimmy, and that's the truth. If anybody doesn't want to acknowledge it, that's okay. But let's be honest. Brock is slightly better than Jimmy, and up until these last 3 games, that was proven. And so now we have to see what happens with the next 9.
Appreciate it, Anthony. Let me ask you a question, Goo, because I'll give you my answer, and then you can give me yours.
Okay.
How many years will Brock Purdy be the quarterback of the 49ers? For the next how many years? It's a guess.
I'm going, wow, man. I'm going 2 for sure. He's got the next 2. So that, I'm telling you, before you rebuttal, I'm telling you that the first 10, 13 game Brock Purdy is still in there, and that this has just been a blip, and he got the next 2.
I'm going to agree with that.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with that.
How shocked would you be if that's not the case and Kirk Cousins is available and we see the last 3 game Brock Purdy for 5 more games? Oh, my gosh. Then I would tell you, Steiny, I think your boy Kyle and company would take a flyer on Kirk.
Well, I think what's going to happen with Brock Purdy is they're not going to want to pay him.
But, right.
They're just
gotta
not.
keep performing, though, for that to happen, Matt.
I know, but even if they win a Super Bowl, like this is where I've come around on, I think they would have gotten rid of Garoppolo even if he had won a Super Bowl. Like, even if if this is who Brock Purdy is, with this team around him and all the talent that they have on this team, like what would you rather, this is a hypothetical, but what would you rather do down the line? Would you rather sign Brock Purdy for a lot of money and then have to off a bunch of your talent? Or would you say, man, look at all this talent we were able to assemble around Brock Purdy because he only made $800,000. Let's try to find another quarterback who only makes about $1 million to run with this team that's more talented than anybody else because we have a lower paid quarterback.
Wow, that's a crazy question, but I'll say this because I feel like we're watching, although he has 2 rings already, Patrick Mahomes try to make something out of nothing, Steiny. If I had a quarterback that was worth his salt, I would rather watch him perform and make others around him who are lesser.
Is Purdy that guy?
That's what we're about to find out. I don't know. Well, I thought it was a slam dunk, yes. But I'm real enough to say, okay, show me the next 8.
We'll see. I
think Kyle's thinking that way, Matt. Like it ain't done yet.
Well, I think Kyle looks at Brock Purdy. What does Burrow make?
Oh, he's getting it.
Close to 50.
Yeah.
Purdy ain't getting that.